Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Friday Night Football Blitz. George Howanitz, John Mendola here, and Jack McNeff from Dunmore right off the giddy up. He's got a game tomorrow. Jack, we know you got to get to bed. You're traveling to Susquehanna tomorrow,
Yes,
so
sir.
we don't want to keep you past curfew. But let's talk a little bit about you guys feel confident tomorrow against Susquehanna?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We feel confident going into every game.
We'll talk a little bit about that first game and how things went and what you think could happen differently this time.
We started off the last game hot, and then we took our foot off the gas. We started off 14-0, and then we let it slip away. So we feel like we lost that game.
Jack, how about your team since that week 3 loss to Susquehanna? Like, how has your team changed? Maybe some things you're doing offensively or defensively that we could people could look at tomorrow to be a little different from that week 3 contest you guys had.
Yeah, I feel like that was our turning point this season so far. We got into some newer things on offense, started going more in the gun, started throwing the ball a little bit more. So, yeah, we kind of just came together after that loss, our whole team, our coach and staff, and decided that we need to do things a little bit differently if we want to change the season.
How about any changes with personnel? Like, have any guys changed positions since that week 3 game that's made a big difference for you guys, since that point?
Our starting linebacker Xavier Burke was out that game. He's been playing the rest of the year after that, so he's ready to go for tomorrow.
How about the old school atmosphere there at Susquehanna? What that experience is like? A Saturday matinee, 1:00 grass. Talk a little bit about kind of like an old school kind of football feel to it.
Yeah, definitely. We like that. We like playing old school. Run the ball. Not so much I formation anymore. More of a wing T look, but yeah, it's just an old fashioned feel. Coach McHale loves that, so we're excited for it.
How about your preparation during the week? Did you, have you, obviously, I'm assuming Susquehanna still runs their own version of the wing T, that single wing kind of offense. What's it like getting ready to defend them and, the things you did during the week to get ready for this playoff matchup?
We had a long week because our game was Thursday last week, so we have an extra day to prepare. So we're really using that to our advantage. The scout team did a great job all week in practice to prepare us for the things that they like to do. So we're excited for it.
I had to put my microphone down there for a moment there because I was coughing, so I apologize. But let's talk a little bit about Coach McHale, his approach on a week-by-week basis, and the coaching staff there at Dunmore, and what you like about being a Buck. I mean, you guys do a lot for your community. You guys are all about football, but you guys are well balanced between school and your family. There's just so much tradition there at Dunmore.
Yeah, Coach McHale has taught us so many morals and lessons throughout the years. He's taught us how to have grit, to be determined, to be disciplined, all that stuff that's going to help us throughout the rest of our lives.
Jack, are you guys and I like the way John asked you that. Like, Dunmore is such a it's been such a football powerhouse in our area, District 2 power. Obviously, you guys end the year 4-6, so not a typical Dunmore kind of year. Are you talking in the locker, like, this next week, a win this week, maybe get into a district championship game against Riverside? Does that kind of help ease that 4-6, maybe get you guys a little pumped up moving towards the second half of the year now?
Definitely. Our goal all year was to win the district championship. At the beginning of the year, we knew that there'd be some hiccups. I think we had four or five returning starters. So there are going to be hiccups with the young team, a little bit inexperienced, but I mean, we have 10 games under our belt together now, so there's no more inexperience with us. So, yeah, we're ready to go.
All right, Jack, we appreciate your time. Get some Z's tonight. You got a long road trip tomorrow. Go get it.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, we're going to take a break here on the Friday Night Football Blitz. We'll be back and talk some Wyoming area football in a couple of moments. The Football Blitz is brought to you by Battaglia Sporting Goods, your hometown sporting goods store since 1975. Contact us for your team sports needs, including all kinds of sports equipment, as well as screen printing and embroidery. We carry most major brands like Under Armour and Adidas. Moon Rooster LLC, the leading digital agency in Northeast PA. Moon Rooster builds custom websites and software, runs targeted ad campaigns, and manages social media to drive traffic and boost your revenue. Let them handle the tech so you can focus on what you love. Visit moonrooster.com to get started. Mesco Glass, since the founding of our family business in 1930, Mesco Glass has served Northeast Pennsylvania as the area's leading full-service glass company. In those 94 years, we've expanded to 5 locations. Mesco knows glass, auto, home, and commercial. That's what we've done for 94 years. Call Mesco, 1-800-982-4055. Physical Therapy Associates of Northeastern Pennsylvania, your go-to top-notch care with 3 convenient locations in Old Forge, Hamlin, and Archbald. These pros deliver skilled one-on-one sessions to help you get back in the game faster. Ready to bounce back strong? Give Physical Therapy Associates a call, 570-209-9800. That's Enough Out of You is a weekly podcast hosted by Sean Kane, a Valley View graduate, and Bill Rader, an Abington Heights graduate, whose wife teaches in the Valley View School District. The free podcast explores important historical events and significant figures in history. They're joined by prominent researchers and authors in the areas of JFK's presidency and the assassination, RFK, the war in Vietnam, and many other events of the 20th century. They also talk about sports, pop culture, and occasionally politics. Check out That's Enough Out of You on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts, or go to that'senoughoutofyou.com for more information. All right, we are back here on the Friday Night Football Blitz, and we're going to welcome in a couple of guests that we have from Wyoming area, Trustin Johnson and Lidge Kellum, a couple of guys that doing good stuff for this Wyoming area Warrior squad. And guys, let's talk about getting the job done against Carbondale tonight, and how that felt. Let's start with you first, Trustin.
Well, it's good when our team could run the ball, but also have a second threat at throwing the ball. Anthony DeLuca, Luca Pachny, Kevin Weedle, all of them getting open, Anthony throwing, always getting on the dot.
And for you, Lidge, let's talk about all the things going well for you. You got guys around you that are doing good things, but you seem to be getting some of the spotlight there at Wyoming area.
Yeah, it's easy. It's easy to play as good as I'm playing when you have the good blockers. Michael, Trustin, Chase, Steinberg, all of them, my guys. On my line, it's easy to find holes and score touchdowns blocking for me. So.
All right, so guys, next week you get your rematch against Western Wayne. Your only loss of the year, week 3, 34-23, I think was the score. So I'm sure you've had this possibly circle on your calendar since week 3. How excited are you to get another rematch or another shot at Western Wayne, next week?
I can't wait. I'm so excited. I'm so pumped.
I have no emotion that I could express how bad I want to take it to them.
So tell everybody then, because I think it's a good way for people to look at it. So just tell everybody a little bit about maybe your week 3 game, maybe what went wrong for you guys that you fixed maybe since then, where this game could be different for you guys.
Basically, so a lot of our starters were out. We were missing like 7 starters. We had some guys playing, off injuries and stuff. So that could have been a big problem. We weren't really all that focused. Our DeLuca and Luke, they weren't really firing. I wasn't really firing. I'm not gonna lie. We weren't really all the way there, but we fixed that. Everybody's a lot more focused. Everybody's a lot more, aggressive. Think that we're going to have a good matchup this Friday.
Berwick kind of hung in there tonight against Western Wayne. It was only a 7-0 game, but Berwick has kind of turned things around here late in the season. And I think once Mid-Valley beat Western Wayne, you got some teams now believing. There was a time, Coach Howanitz, that we thought boy, Western Wayne at home, I don't know if they're going to get beat.
Yeah, I just think it's and you guys will see this next week. We've talked about this for weeks. It's a different atmosphere to go up to, Western Wayne. You guys got to play at home, I know, week 3, so you'll be on the road now for this playoff game. I guess, how have you guys during the year with your away games? Have you done anything differently, like going to away games versus your home games? And maybe I'll get you a little bit prepared to go up to Western Wayne to play up there next week.
Week 3, we went up there.
Okay.
We played versus them. We know the atmosphere. Me, Lodge, everyone on the team, we're prepared for that atmosphere. We know how it feels, and we know how it feels to lose. And we want to take that and know how it feels to win.
Talk a little bit about the weight room there at Wyoming area. It was dedicated to Coach Marenka this past summer. And, of course, it's a big deal at Wyoming area. All their coaches are Wyoming area guys. What's it like for you guys to be a Warrior and to kind of feel that tradition there?
Honestly, it's honoring, to know that there's so many great Warrior alumni. It's honoring to be able to have played in the same program, helmet, knowing that we're playing for them. It's very, really honoring.
I'd say it's honoring too, to know that not only we have our coaching staff on our back, everyone on our back, we have the community, everyone's there trying to hype us up, and they're just there for us, and we just have to provide for them.
Guys, what about, we have, so we just had somebody on from Dunmore. We have you guys on from Wyoming area. We have somebody coming on from Valley View. That's 3 of the, I would say, District 2 kind of powerhouse programs. We have, perennial champions every year, district champs, league champs, some state championships there with all these teams. What's it like to be a Wyoming area football player, just with that, I'm going to say, that pressure, me having coached at Valley View and played there, I know every week you go in with a little extra pressure, I think, each week, knowing that how good teams have been in the past and what people expect of you guys. So just tell everybody what it's like to have that little bit of added stress, I think, going into each week.
I don't even really pay attention to it. At the end of the day, I know how good of a team that we are now. And for the teams of how good they've been in the past, we know that now it's a completely different game. We're a completely different team. Those are completely different teams. So as long as everybody's playing 100%, it doesn't really matter how good you are, have been, or you will be. Wyoming area will take it to you.
I think I use the pressure as fuel, because if everyone's doubting you, you're that top dog. Everyone thinks, they have nothing to lose. You just got to go take it to them, show them that you're that guy. And you know what they say, pressure makes diamonds.
How about the next step for you guys? Tell us a little bit about, do you want to play at the next level? Or are you guys pretty wide open with the recruiting trail right now?
Yeah, I've been looking at a couple schools recently. I just took a visit down to Westchester last week, and I'm going on a couple more visits soon along with Trustin. So I can't wait to, get out there, get to the campuses, see how college football is actually like. I can't wait to play there either.
Yeah, I'd say the same. I want to play ball at college, hopefully on more. I've been on visits to Cornell, and I'm going to Army along with Lodge and a couple of my other teammates. And hopefully more opportunities will come out, and I'll be able to show what I can at the next level.
How about getting the job done in the classroom? Who's been on you with that? Family, coaches, teachers? Is it a combination of everybody?
Yes.
Yeah, I say everyone.
My teachers, they'll say to me, if I don't do my work, I lose eligibility. My coaches, you don't do your work, you can't play. My parents, you don't do your work, you can't really do anything. So, I got to stay on top of all my stuff.
I'd say mostly my mom, always strict on it, right to it. She carries me. If I need some help, she'll help me out. And then to add to that, the coach is reminding me every single day. And you have to just know for yourself that has to be priority.
How about you guys as leaders? Some of the older guys on the team, do you take some of the younger guys, kind of under your wing and stay on them a little bit and kind of teach them the ways of Wyoming area football during the week and now moving into this playoff run?
Yeah. So after I leave, I want to make sure that Wyoming area is still a successful program. So I make sure that, the younger guys, they know the plays, they know exactly where they need to be and when they need to be, how they need to do things. I make sure that, that they could be the next guy up. If I go down, then Trustin needs to step up. If Trustin goes down, then Oliver, he needs to step up. I make sure that everybody knows exactly what their assignment is and what they're doing. Because at the end of the day, I want to make sure that Wyoming is a successful program.
Yeah, I just think you guys. So go ahead, Trustin. Tell me your thought, and then I was going to wrap this up. Go ahead.
I've learned a lot from Lodge, Anthony, Chase DeSanto, Mike Crane, so on and so forth. From last year being one of the younger guys, Lodge leading me the way, and now he helps me with the things I need to work on. We try to help each other get better. We all have the same goal, got to move on, move forward. And, I'd say that for the younger guys, we do as much as we can, make sure we point them in the right direction for the future.
Everything I've heard about Trustin and Lodge, you guys are hardworking guys, and the coaching staff really thinks a lot of you guys over there at Wyoming area. So keep doing the hard work. I just think you guys have too many weapons to go down to Western Wayne next week. I think it's just one too many guys there for the Warriors. You guys will find a way to get it done. It'll be a tough game, physical game, but my instinct, Coach Howanitz, is the Warriors get the job done next week.
Yeah. We'll definitely be ready for Western Wayne. It will not end like it did last time. I promise you.
Coming for revenge.
Love the confidence, guys. All right, go get it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Take a break. We'll be right back.
The Football Blitz is brought to you by Alberigi Insurance. Alberigi Insurance Agency proudly services all your insurance needs for over 60 years. Located at 301 Church Street in Jessup. Call us today for a no-obligation quote for home, auto, recreational vehicles, boats, and business insurance. The Alberigi Insurance Agency, 570-489-6348. Tim Wagner's Sports Corner, your spot for all your MLB, NFL, and NCAA clothing and accessory needs. Come see what Tim carries for every Boston Red Sox, New York Yankees and Giants, Philadelphia Phillies, Eagles, Notre Dame, and Syracuse fan, to name a few. Tim Wagner's also specializes in all your screen printing and embroidery needs. If you're on Sanderson Street in Scranton, you'll need to stop and shop at Tim Wagner's Sports Corner. Century Dental Associates. Century Dental is a state-of-the-art dental office with multiple locations here in northeastern Pennsylvania. We use the latest approaches that are less invasive than ever before. We bring compassion to each individual to help take care of your dental needs in a way that is the best for you. Please call one of our offices or visit our website at centurydentalsmiles.com.
Welcome back to the Friday Night Football Blitz. Coach George Howanitz and myself and Zach Swilinski, Valley View Football. Zach, you guys got the job done, but it wasn't easy. Crestwood's a scrappy team. They run that different kind of offense. They're physical. I guess it was just a good high school football game tonight. I think Zach froze up there for a second. Not literally, he was scared, but I think it's signal. So
he didn't freeze up during the game tonight, I'll tell you that.
So, George, you're at the game. Tell me a little bit about that Crestwood Valley View game before we get.
Well, it was it was, first of all, the wind was blowing about 40 miles an hour for the first half of the game, so I think that played a big role in some of the things Valley View likes to do offensively. But Crestwood, like you said, they really are scrappy. They run that single wing, I guess you could call it. That lot of guys going in 9 different directions and gives defense fits. And they really did a nice job, I thought, with some field position things. And it just comes down to me at the end. Valley View just has too many weapons for some of these teams. It's run, and then pull a ball out and throw a pass down the field to one of their good receivers or tight end or or they get a big run by a running back. So that game next week, I think against Dallas will be really interesting. They took it to Homestead tonight, but I know both those teams probably had this game circled since last year's district championship. So I think that'll be a great game next week at Valley View.
You got a pulse on things there at Valley View. How about the health of the squad? I know we had talked with the head coach a few weeks ago, and they're working through some things to make sure everybody was healthy for this kind of stretch run. So where do you think the Cougars are at?
They'll be pretty close, I think, next week to about as healthy as they've been all year. They had some guys this week that didn't play that I think will be back next week. So I'm going to say they'll be at about as close to full strength as they've probably been throughout the season. So I think that puts them in a good situation for next week.
Scott Wasilchik, the head coach there at Valley View. We're going to try to see if we can swing in Zach again here. See if the signal is going to clear up here. Zach, can you hear us at all?
Right now.
Oh, we got you, Slintz. We got your voice. We just don't have your video.
Yeah.
We're going to have to freeze them out, huh? All right. Well, Zach's signal there is freezing a little bit. Talk a little bit about Coach, what Zach was able to do tonight.
Well, first of all, he made a huge play at the end of the game in the fourth quarter. They were kind of pinned down a little bit. Crestwood had just scored to make it 21-14. And, there was about 4 or 5 minutes left. So Valley View needed to kind of close the clock out. And it was third and I think it was 9 or 10. He shook a couple guys on a blitz and got the ball for about a 40 or 50-yard gain on a pass, which pretty much sealed the game for them at that point. They were able to run the clock out and get a couple first downs. So, he makes so many plays with his legs. And I think the last 4 or 5 games, he made huge plays throwing the ball. So he has him in a good spot. I think he gives him an extra weapon that, a lot of high school defenses have to defend, which is tough. And, he's really come to play, I think, and really done a nice job for them like I said, probably the last second half of the season, got them in a position to be in this district championship game, which was huge for them.
Now, we talked with Manello a bunch of times this year. What do you think the difference is going to be? It seemed like, Dallas started throwing the ball a lot early. Then they started running the quarterback. So they got him involved. And, it's going to come down to some guys up front there between Valley View and Dallas. And you see this one to be a very close game?
Yeah, I just think, I don't know. It's a tough, I think it will be a close game just because, I hate to say it this way, but Valley View makes a lot of dumb mistakes, like offside penalties and things like that. But if they can play, I thought when they played Delaware Valley, it's the best they played all year. They spread the ball out offensively. They threw well. They passed well. They didn't have very many penalties, no dumb mistakes, and they're tough to beat. And I just think if you compare what Dallas lost last year to what Valley View lost last year, I think Dallas lost more kids, to graduation than Valley View did. So Valley View's bringing back a pretty good core. They've had, some kids they've had a plug and play that have played now for 11 weeks. So, and they're home, which I think makes a huge difference. So, if you look at it just on paper, I'd say Valley View would, should win the game just based on what they have back, where they are at, and where the game's at. But, it worries me. I'd be worried a little bit if I was Valley View, just because Dallas is scoring so many points each week now. They put 48 up again today. I think they've been in the 40s the last 6 or 7 weeks. So that's about the only thing that would make me nervous. You got to be able to stop an offense that's putting up, 40 plus points every week, which is not an easy thing to do.
How about the home field advantage for Valley View? You think that's much of a factor?
It's big. I mean, when I coached, I'd much rather play at home. And I don't want to sound mean when I say this, but you get one extra official from your own conference, which makes a big difference. You get your home crowd. You don't have to travel anywhere. Your own, your own locker room. Your schedule stays relatively the same. You don't have to worry about traveling and leaving early and doing things. So, I think for a lot of these playoff games, I think it makes a bigger difference than what people would think.
Well, we'll see what happens. And Zach, just one of those players there for Valley View that keeps things going for the Cougars and Coach Scott Wasilchek. That Wilkes-Barre game that lasted forever tonight. I mean, it was about 30 penalties, and all they did was throw the football, and it just kept going and going. And there was a point in the game. So Wilkes-Barre's up 28-7. Scranton, they fumbled 2 punts. They're driving. They turn it could have been 28-21. It really could have been. And then Wilkes-Barre kind of just found a way to get it done there at the end. But Scranton had a lot of miscues. Fumbled the ball off the 3-yard line, a bunch of boo-boos. But Scranton kind of reminded me a little bit of Crestwood, like a similar, have some athletes run that offense. It can be a little misdirectional.
And John, you've seen a lot of games this year. I think this is the most, I don't even know how to even put it. I'm going to say strange year, but there's so many teams that are like that. I think there's so many. I don't want to say average, because I don't want anybody to think, oh, I'm making fun of teams, but I think there's so many like that kind of football where they can win a game by 14, or they can lose a game by 14, and a lot of it is like little mini mistakes that happen in between, and everybody's very evenly matched. Like, it's hard to even pick who's going to win a game each week, because you don't know how they're going to play and how many mistakes they're going to make. And, I think you could go right down the list and look at it that way. Like, I'm looking at, so the 6A playoffs can be one seed versus 2, right? Where Wilkes-Barre against Williamsport. Again, they played each other. Williamsport beat Wilkes-Barre the first time they played. Abington's going to play DV 1 versus 2. DV beat Abington, so the 2 beat the 1 there. Valley View is going to play Dallas, rematch of last year's game, 1 versus 2. Trail's going to play Tri-Valley, 1 versus 2. Like, it's a lot of these, these matchups, and then your top 4 seeds in 3A all went on. So, and a lot of them have played each other. So Prep played Mid-Valley, and Western Wayne played Wyoming area. So we're getting a lot of rematch games, and you really, the way this season's been, you really don't know who the heck's going to win it each week. It's bizarre.
Yeah, and some districts teams got to buy, and different things like that. So we'll kind of sort through that and figure all that stuff out. We're going to try to talk some 6A football here coming back. We're going to take another time out here in the Friday Night Football Blitz with Coach George Howanitz and myself. We'll be right back.
The Football Blitz is brought to you by Locals Only Project. Locals Only Project's an apparel company based right here in our backyard. Their mission is to keep Main Street alive and support mom and pop shops across NEPA. They're slinging some great hometown gear like hats, hoodies, and tees. Check them out at localsonlyproject.com. Guys Barbershop. Hey, sports fans, are you ready for game day? Look sharp with a fresh cut from Guys Barbershop. With 2 locations in Scranton and Oliphant, we specialize in styles that score big. Whether you need a classic trim or a modern look, our skilled barbers have you covered. Join the winning team, Guys Barbershop, where every haircut is a touchdown. Visit us today and show your team spirit. Tasty Freeze and Mini Golf, located on the Scranton-Carbondale Highway in Einan. Open 7 days a week, offering a variety of ice cream, including 25 flavors of Manning's Dairy Farm. Make every day an ice cream day. Enjoy family fun at our 18-hole miniature golf course located behind our store, or relax in our spacious dining room. Tasty Freeze is a great location for children's birthday parties. Visit our Facebook page at Tasty Freeze Treats or stop by. Keep up with outstanding athletes at Lackawanna College, including the nationally recognized football team under Hall of Fame coach Mark Duda at LackawannaFalcons.com. Lackawanna football is in its 32nd season, and Coach Duda is now in his 31st year at the helm. With a proven track record of getting student athletes to the next level, as the Falcons play a national schedule against some of the best teams in the country. Read the recap, score, stats, and more, highlighting Lackawanna College Falcons athletics at LackawannaFalcons.com.
All right, back here on the Friday Night Football Blitz. I keep hitting that mic for the cough, and it's what are you gonna do? It's that time of year, right, Coach?
It's this crazy weather, John. It gets you 70 to 50.
Yeah.
Or 80 to 50, I should say, right? I was freezing tonight at the game. I at halftime, I told my wife, I'm like, this is one of the reasons I quit coaching. Like, we can go home at halftime and I can watch the game from home in next to my fireplace. It's great.
Yeah, that's tough. It's the wind, as you said, just they made it. We're gonna get back to 70s next week, but it was cold.
Yeah. It really was bad. I'm telling you, the Valley View game. And I said, I was sitting next to Jared Prosciutti was sitting next to me, who's been to probably every Valley View football game since 1969. But I said in my 16 years coaching at Valley View, I've never seen wind. It was blowing bleacher to bleacher, like across the stadium, which I've never seen. And it was, I mean, the flags were whipping, and it was probably blowing about 30 miles an hour, which, like I said, in my 16 years there, I don't remember ever having a home game where it was, the wind was blowing like that. So weird weather.
All right, we're efforting with Devon Underwood. It looked his screen was dark, and he was kind of coming in. Let's see if we could get him in. There we go. I think I saw you in the background there, Devon.
Yeah.
There he is. I see the face.
I don't got that much light because I'm in front of my car trying to make as much light as I can. Sorry.
Do what you could. We had a guy a couple weeks ago, looked like he was in a cornfield. It was kind of a Halloween theme as well.
Yeah, I'm just dropping my 2 teammates off.
Well, that's nice of you. Well, see if you can at least get stable there for a moment, and you could get a little camera for us.
Perfect.
Like you said,
stay right there.
Yeah, I can stay right here.
Stay right there.
You see how quick he is? He just keeps moving, this guy. He's
nobody can
the
cover
Swiss
him.
Army knife. He's back.
Yeah.
Devon, talk a little bit about the win here for Wilkes-Barre area and your ability to score a few touchdowns tonight.
To be honest, my whole team played great. I'm kind of losing my voice right now because I was screaming all game because I'm hype at my team. My team played their part. Everybody played their part. Trayvon had a 89-yard touchdown. That's what set it off for the night. And then after that, it went straight uphill, no downhill.
Talk a little bit about your ability to be catching the football as this year has gone on. That has made you an extra dangerous weapon.
I've been working on my catching because they've been telling me I needed to catch more because I've been more at the running back position, but I've been catching more, doing more routes, working on more patterns, my speed, stuff like that. And then it just all plays out in the game as we go on.
You are a slippery guy. You're slippery in the interview as you are on the field right now. You're moving around.
Thank you.
Talk a little bit about that ability to, to not go down. You're not the biggest guy. You're kind of a lightweight, but people have a hard time tackling you.
Yeah, I don't like going down. I don't like the floor. That's the real reason. I don't like the floor. I just play on my heart, play for my team, all the seniors. I'm glad we won tonight.
So how about moving into next week? You get a rematch against Williamsport, who you lost to in week 10. You'll get them home next week. Tell everybody what's going to make this week different from 2 weeks ago.
What's going to make this week different from 2 weeks ago? We're going to be at home, and we got a shot to make history. My team is all hype. Everybody's excited for it.
How about what you think you have to do to game plan wise, or even from an offensive standpoint? What do you have to do differently coming up that you did in that week 10 game?
I mean, I don't really know much to do different. I feel like the way we're running our offense, the way we've been running our offense the past 2 weeks have been pretty fine. We just need to execute everything right in practice and come out to play because we know they're coming out to play. Second round of playoffs, they don't want to come lose.
I think your recruiting stock has gone up here, Devon, with your ability to now catch the football more out of the backfield. You could be such a weapon as a running back, as a receiver. So talk a little bit about what you'd like to do at the next level.
I would like to play running back at the next level, but most people that looked at me are telling me that I have the size of a slot receiver, but that's okay with me. Whatever gets me up there and gets me playing, I'm fine with it.
Great quickness and elusiveness, as we see tonight from Devon. Well, hey, good luck against Williamsport next week, Devon. We appreciate you getting some time in with us tonight.
Thank you. No problem.
All right.
Have a good night.
Congratulations. Yep. Devon Underwood there from Wilkes-Barre area, victorious tonight, 35-7 over Scranton. We'll be right back.
The Football Blitz is brought to you by the Maddock Agency. Since 1972, the Maddock Agency has been serving northeastern Pennsylvania for home, auto, and life. The Maddock Agency prides itself on being an independently owned agency. When you need help, you can talk with the staff member who lives and works right here in Northeast PA. The Maddock Agency has stayed true to its local, loyal roots. That's what our company was founded on more than 50 years ago. Call Dave Maddock and his team today. 570-586-3790. Use Savage Chiropractic. Takes pride in always doing a full evaluation on all patients, including x-rays, to evaluate patients to keep them safe and to determine the best care for their specific needs. Then they use modern techniques to get patients better, faster, and keep them feeling great with maintenance care options after they're pain-free. Along with chiropractic care, they are one of the only offices here in Northeast PA that offers both Class 4 cold laser to speed up the healing process and massage therapy and bodywork to aid in muscle repair and rehabilitation. And Northeast Outdoor Services, a locally run and operated company who offers a wide range of services but specializes in all forms of hardscape, concrete work, along with fiberglass pools and spas. Check us out on Facebook or visit our website at northeastoutdoorservices.com. Northeast Outdoor Services.
We're back here in the Friday Night Football Blitz. George Howanitz and myself. And, Coach, you went through some of those games earlier. Blackwater Trail will play Tri-Valley next week. And, we don't know a lot about Tri-Valley, but what you know every year about Tri-Valley is they're a hard-nosed football team, blue-collar, and, that should be a heck of a matchup with Trail.
Yeah, I think obviously, like I said, when you're and they shut out Marion Catholic tonight 27-0, so obviously they're a pretty good football team, and Trail beat Nativity 47-20. But man, I just think Trail has so many weapons right now, and they're so big in key positions, and they have seniors in key positions. I just find them to be a tough out for the district, and then even moving on, I think they'll be a tough out if they can get past the district championship game, into the state playoffs. That wing tee is just a tough thing to defend when you're not used to playing against it. And like I said, Coach Jervis having all those seniors, one being his son, as a quarterback, and all those weapons that he has. I just think, like I said, moving on, man, it's a tough thing to get ready for in 7 days.
So Dunmore, Susquehanna tomorrow. Yeah, have a feel either way for that one. Everybody, we always kind of say, okay, that somebody will get revenge on Susquehanna. They really have found a way to get the job done this year.
I think that's an interesting game again for me. That's one of those games, like we said, if Dunmore plays a mistake-free game, they can win the game. If Susquehanna plays a mistake-free game, and they've beaten Dunmore already week 3, 25-21. So, my feeling as a coach all the time was I never wanted to play a team a second time. And my concern always was if you lose to a team, at least you know what you have to fix. But if you beat the team the first time, you kind of figure stuff worked and you fix a little bit less. So I'd much rather be like a Dunmore team in that situation where I know what I have to fix. I know what we did wrong game 1, figure it out, and get ready for game 2.
I got all kinds of
we
stuff going tonight.
We got to get you out of that, out of the elements.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I get sick maybe once or twice a year. Well, it hit me, so
Kills you.
let's.
Like I said, I think that's one of those toss-up games. I just don't know. I don't know if I have a feel for that game. I think it's a 50-50 game. You don't know. I could go either way.
From what I understand, Southern Columbia got to win. They'll take on Troy. Troy's one of the best teams. This might be the year that Southern Columbia bows out, but you never can count them out. But Troy's had some good teams over the years.
I'm going to tell you right now, if I had to bet on that game, I'd take Southern. Because for how many years now it's been like, oh, Southern lost to this team, and now they play them in the district championship game and they beat them 47-0. So I think Southern won pretty handily tonight. I think it was a big score, and I think they shut out whoever they played. Those kids are so battle tested and so mentally tough and so physical. And playoff time, they just crank it up even more. So if you told me I had to make a wager on one team and who would it be, I'd take Southern over Troy.
Now we get down to the 3A playoffs, and Danville's at the bottom of the bracket, but they still got to get through some teams. Scranton Prep, Western Wayne, Wyoming area. What's your gut feeling right now with that whole situation? My gut feeling is the Warriors are going to get revenge on Western Wayne next week.
I think it's I think all these games are interesting because even the Mid-Valley Prep rematch, from what I heard about that game the first time they played, it was close up until the fourth quarter. So it wasn't like it was Prep won 28-0 as a final, but I heard that was like a 7-0 game going into the fourth quarter. So I don't know if Mid-Valley can beat Prep, but I think it'll come down to probably Prep, and then obviously whoever wins that Western Wayne Wyoming area game. I don't know. Wyoming area is in the same boat as, like I said, with Dallas. They've been scoring so many points, and they can run and throw. And I just think, you get to Western Wayne, and they're a little bit one-dimensional. I don't think they're super pass happy. They want to run the football, and if you can stop the run game, I just think you put them in a bind. So, like I said, I'd rather be the loser coming into that rematch than the winner. So, I'm with you. I think Western Wayne's going to be in for a tough game against Wyoming area, and I think it'll set up a Wyoming area prep, district showdown.
And then for 4A, we already talked a little bit about Valley View, Dallas, but when you look at that bracket and the way that will play out, whoever's able to win that will take on a team from District 1. And then you go to the bottom of the bracket, you got Shamokin as the 1 seed down there, and they'll take on a team from District 6. And at the bottom of that bracket is the District 11 squad. So I wonder if Shamokin can keep it going for a while and potentially, meet up with a pretty good team. I think District 2 will have a little bit of a tough time against District 1. As always, that's always a tough matchup.
Yeah, District 1 is and this was always my take, from the years that I coached. The difference about District 1 is you can't look at the record, because District 1, you'll have a team coming in that's 6-4. That's a 4A team, but they played a 6A schedule against some of the better teams in the state that are 6A. So their 4 losses could have come against the, 3 or 4 of the top 10 teams in Pennsylvania, or what, how the rankings go. So that's not a part of the bracket I'd want to go too early, because I think that's tough, like I said, to play those teams. But the nice thing, District 2 teams the last 5 years have really done a pretty good job when they've come out of our district. So, I'd never count any of our teams out, but I think it's a tough road compared to where it's been when we've had the extra round of the district playoffs and you haven't had to run into those teams so early.
Move along to the 5A playoffs, and the way that's going to set up with District 2 is, you got Abington Heights and Delaware Valley. Do you have a feeling either way on that one?
I think this is going to be one of the best games of all the districts, because they played each other early in the season. It was 35-28. DV beat Abington. But I just think it's going to be, I think they're so evenly matched. Abington throws the ball very well, and I think DV struggles a little bit against the pass. Now, the question is going to be, in their first matchup, Abington didn't throw the ball, I don't think, as much as they should have. I think they, you and I were talking about the Wilkes-Barre game, how they threw so much in the first half. I think Abington has to throw the ball if they want to beat DV. And I think from seeing Delaware Valley play against Valley View, the same thing there. Valley View killed them throwing the ball. And then that opened up the run game a little more when it got them out of that. They like to play a 53 defense, got them out of that a little bit. So I think Abington needs to be run first, or pass first, run second, have that mentality. And I really think that'll be one of the best district championships that we'll see, through the 6 brackets.
no favors after 5A. You got a District 6, 8, 9, or 10 team. You look at this bracket, it is ridiculous for District 2 after that. Hollidaysburg, Cathedral Prep. I mean, you go up and down on what those teams can be. District 2 is going to have a challenge at that next step after this week.
Yeah, I don't think, and I think even the years when Delaware Valley's been really, really good. I think coming out of the bracket, they've gotten beat in the first round of the state playoffs, which I just think it's a totally different breed of football. When you get, I've always said, I think at least the hardest in our district, I think it's nearly impossible to win a 4, 5, and 6A championship. You have to have a senior heavy team, I think. And you have to hope some of the other districts are down. I really do. I think your best chance coming out of District 2 is the 1, 2, or 3, just because I think we match up, the 1, 2, or 3 teams match up fairly well against pretty much anybody in the state because they could score enough points to be able to do that. But the 4, 5, and 6, I just think it's super difficult unless you're really built with a team like that. Like I said, that has a lot of starters coming back and really good skill kids, I think is the key to that.
For 6A, I'm even having a hard time finding a District 2 representative there on the map, but it's going to be tough for either Williamsport or Wilkes-Barre to do any damage. I guess you talk to the Wilkes-Barre coaches, they're like, listen, we had Williamsport. It's kind of been the theme of Wilkes-Barre all year, though. They could have given things away here and there, and they kind of, Nino, since he came off the field tonight, is joking. He goes, hey, we even ran the ball. Thinking there are times you have to run the football to eat that clock up and just go away. You got to have a package for it. You got to.
I just think, like I saw the Valley View game. I thought they had a really good chance to win that game. And you see more games than I do, but the Dallas game I know was a shootout. They probably had a chance, really good chance to win that game. They end up losing to Williamsport at the end of the year. And then I thought the Hazleton game was a little weird too, that they lost 26-0 with how many weapons they have on offense. So I think they're capable. Wilkes-Barre is capable of winning each game. I just think I'm with you. I think once you win the district, you got a whole 6A bracket that they're all 5 and 5 going into the district playoffs. I just don't foresee, which to me, again, I don't mean this in any negative, but it's 4 average football teams, at that 5 and 5 record going into district playoffs. So you're going to have 2 teams meeting for the district championship there. Like I said, that we're 5 and 5 going in, being 6 and 5 right now going into the district championship game. So I think, the end of the road will be the district, and then, which is good. Hey, that's a big accomplishment for any team. And you never know going in, but I just don't think we match up well against the bigger schools, throughout the state.
I finally found them in the bracket. We're on the western side in 6A. You got to travel. McDowell and Erie are playing tonight, and then State College gets the winner of that one. So those are 3 juggernauts probably.
Yeah. Those are 3 or better teams, out of that, that side of the state. We're going to come out of that side of the bracket. No gift going over there.
No doubt. Well, some good games coming up this coming week. Some district championships on the line and some other things going on. They'll still got to play there in 3A another week to get to that championship game. George, what's your story with Pitt this weekend?
Pitt's at SMU, ACC Network at 8 o'clock tomorrow. I find, I don't know, and you know this too, because you're a member of the media and you do a lot of stuff with the media stuff. But as I was talking to Adam during the week, I get a little bit of the locker room vibe. He was telling me how the Pitt players were aggravated this week because Pitt's undefeated. Ranked on the top 20 in the country, and SMU's ranked in the top 20 in the country with 1 loss, and they're playing on the ACC Network at 8 o'clock on a Saturday, and they were ticked off that they weren't on a ABC or ESPN or something like that. But I think it's an evenly matched game. You're in the driver's seat, whoever wins this game, to get have a really good shot of making the a run to the ACC championship and maybe that top 12 playoff. So I'm really hoping for the best for Pitt. I'd love to see Adam and his teammates get to an ACC championship game and maybe have a chance to play in that, the inaugural 12-team NCAA Division I playoff, which would be a really cool thing to witness as a parent and have my son as a player there. So got my fingers crossed tomorrow.
Some of your crazy Pitt fans have gone down to the game at SMU. I talked to somebody yesterday. Oh yeah, they're down there. They're down there already. Now you're not going, but
no, I'm not going.
One of these years you'll be crazy enough.
Yeah, this is big for Pitt. I mean, it's the first time since 1970 something or whatever it is that they're 8-0. Start the season 8-0, or I think they said since Dan Marino played. So I think that's what the early 80s, I think, or whatever, when Marino played there. So it's a big deal. It's a pretty cool fan base, like I said, and there's some people that are really the diehard Pitt fans, and they'll go down. I'm sure there'll be a bunch of people in blue and gold there, and like I said, I hope they can, show up and do what they need to do and move on, like I said, and all this stuff is great too. And you know this, John, because you have kids playing in college, but my wife and I are starting to look at bowl games and things like that where they might go to, and that's a pretty cool thing to have you go through as a parent and your kids possibly go through as a college athlete. So we're looking forward to that.
I hope things work out for you. Good to talk to those two Wyoming area kids. They're ready to go. They seem dialed in, ready for Western Wayne this coming week. And Jack McNeff there at Dunmore, he's waiting for Susquehanna tomorrow. That could be one of those 13, 12, 19, 18 games tomorrow, I think.
Don't you love I get a kick out of like if somebody ever asked me a question when I was playing about that, I'd be like, yeah, I think we're ready. And these kids are like, we're going to win. It's a revenge game. We're not going to lose. We played that. I always think it's interesting how the dynamic has changed with the attitudes of a lot of kids now compared to, like I said, when I played 30 years ago, you'd never answer a question that way. Your coach would kill you if you answered a question that way. You'd have to kind of deflect everything. Now they're gung-ho and telling you they're going to, how many points they're going to win by and what they're going to do on a Friday or Saturday. It's interesting.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's going to wrap things up here in the Friday Night Football Blitz. We'll take one more break, and then we'll kind of sayonara and head off here. George, have a great weekend. We appreciate it.
You too, John. I hope you feel better, buddy.
Thank you.
The Football Blitz is brought to you by Battaglia Sporting Goods, your hometown sporting goods store since 1975. Contact us for your team sports needs, including all kinds of sports equipment, as well as screen printing and embroidery. We carry most major brands like Under Armour and Adidas. Moon Rooster LLC, the leading digital agency in Northeast PA. Moon Rooster builds custom websites and software, runs targeted ad campaigns, and manages social media to drive traffic and boost your revenue. Let them handle the tech so you can focus on what you love. Visit moonrooster.com to get started. Mesco Glass. Since the founding of our family business in 1930, Mesco Glass has served Northeast Pennsylvania as the area's leading full-service glass company. In those 94 years, we've expanded to 5 locations. Mesco knows glass, auto, home, and commercial. That's what we've done for 94 years. Call Mesco, 1-800-982-4055. Physical Therapy Associates of Northeastern Pennsylvania, your go-to top-notch care with 3 convenient locations in Old Forge, Hamlin, and Archbald. These pros deliver skilled one-on-one sessions to help you get back in the game faster. Ready to bounce back strong? Give Physical Therapy Associates a call. 570-209-9800. That's Enough Out of You is a weekly podcast hosted by Sean Kane, a Valley View graduate, and Bill Rader, an Abington Heights graduate, whose wife teaches in the Valley View School District. The free podcast explores important historical events and significant figures in history. They're joined by prominent researchers and authors in the areas of JFK's presidency and the assassination, RFK, the war in Vietnam, and many other events of the 20th century. They also talk about sports, pop culture, and occasionally politics. Check out That's Enough Out of You on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts, or go to that'senoughoutofyou.com for more information.